fearless. Vegas strong. Fearless. It's a beautiful day here in Las Vegas, and I'm sure where you're located, it's a beautiful day also. And things are looking up over here daily, and out where you're at, things are looking up, I'm sure. Have the right attitude, have the right idea, and life is good. As I begin the show every week, I like to begin. Our Father and I are one. The Son and I are one. The Holy Spirit and I are one. I believe it. You must believe it. I accept it. You must accept it. Live a certain way, and this is the way to live. You live a certain way, that He is one with you. That doesn't mean you don't want to go to church. No, you need to be a member of a church and congregate. But if you don't have a church, join us. And my other show, the Living Kingdom Church.com. Look at that show and join us. We need you. But this one here, it's a different show. It's called, we're talking about the holistic individual, the importance of becoming united with your mind, your body, your soul, the balance. Balance is so important. You know, if you ever try to balance yourself, it's not easy. But you learn as you get older, as you think yourself maybe as a child, and you see these little children and they're falling, they're getting up, they're falling, they're getting up, and sooner or later they begin to walk. Okay, that's the holistic concept. You might have a struggle now or maybe earlier, but as you work at it, begin to balance yourself, and that's what it's all about. Balancing yourself mentally, spiritually, and physically. Now, we've been talking about, last week we were talking about anyone can be great. We're talking about Alexander the Great. We're talking about the Kobe Bryant and the greatness of Kobe Bryant, the presidents of Abraham Lincoln, greatness. Well, you have the same opportunity. I have the same opportunity to become great. You want to become great? Yeah, you do. You want to become great. And we mentioned that there's a principle of power in everyone. The principle of power in everyone. And I was teaching on this. The principle is this substance that you may never see and can see, but it's out there, and I call it God, and I call it Jesus Christ. You might have another name for it, but this formless substance, it's in you. This power is in us. It's up here. From up there. That's why I begin the show. The Father and I, that substance and my substance are one. The Son and I, the substance of Jesus Christ, is that substance is in me. The Holy Spirit and I, that substance and the Holy Spirit is in me. It's not out there floating around. It's in me. Now, as I look outside on the patio, I see the sun, the nature, the trees, all that stuff are out there to serve us. Don't ever forget that. All that ocean, all the moon, all the stars, they're there to serve you. If I had a mirror here, I would show the reflection of myself. And when the Almighty said, let us make man in our image, well, that's me. That means the capability that He had in Himself and that He has in Himself, I have it. So the principle of power is in everyone. And then I mentioned the purpose of life is growth. You must grow. You must see yourself growing. You see plants growing. I have some plants out there in a patio, and they're not growing the way I want them to grow. And when I see that, I say something's wrong. It may be the water, may be not enough sun. It's the same thing in your life. You need to have growth in your life. That will make you great. The principle of power gives us that right. That was number 3. The principle of power gives you and me the opportunity to become great. I want to be great. I am great. Keep saying that to yourself. I am great, which you are. You can become what you want. Well, today, in the few minutes I have, we're talking about the holistic concept. The mind, the body, the soul, the balance. We're going to begin a series on the subject of the science of success. The science of success. And the book I'll be using, in fact, I got the book right here. The Science of Success by Wallace D. Wattles. You can pick it up on Amazon or your library, but this is the book we're going to be using, okay? On these particular topics. The first chapter he's going to be dealing with is there is a science of getting rich. Oh, I got another picture here. That picture is money. So we're going to be talking about getting you rich. I want you rich. You want yourself to be rich. There's nothing wrong with richness. We're a rich country. One of the richest countries in the world. Well, we didn't get to be that way overnight. By the way, that author I'm going to be talking about, he wrote that book 115 years ago. Now you think about that. Those principles that he used still work today if you apply them. The science of success. It's a science. If you believe in science, which I do, there are certain laws in science. It doesn't really matter if you believe them or you don't believe them. They're a fact of life. It's a science. The science of gravity, the science of wealth, the science of cause and effect, the science of divine oneness, the science of rhythm, the science. It's a science. It's like math. It's absolute. And so, if you believe the science of getting rich, that's the first step. One must get rich. When I was a child, I used to like to read this comic book. It was called Richie. What was that? Little Richie?
Richie Rich, I think.
Little Richie Rich. It was a comic book about this little child thought was rich. And nobody knew he was rich. And in this comic book, he helped a lot of people through his riches. I remember when I was in junior high, one of the most popular movies on TV was called The Millionaire. And this guy would go around and just pop up in different communities and will would find particular individuals and give them a check for $1 million. It was called a millionaire. Well, there's nothing wrong with being rich, but you have to believe it. You must realize and recognize, I must get rich. It really is up to you. It really is up to me. Well, a lot of people say, well, you can't buy happiness through riches and through money. I disagree with them. You know, in this time that you and I are living in right now, I think some of you have realized, I need money. I need stuff. I need wealth because I lost my job. Because I have an income. See, a lot of people say, well, you don't have to have money to be happy. Again, I disagree with them. I'm one to say, poverty is the cause of all evil. You know, they say the root of all evil is money. No. One of these days we're going to study on that particular verse, or maybe my other show. Money is a defense. In the book of Ecclesiastes, it teaches the more money you have, it will be used as a defense. In this situation we have right now, there's no offense occurring. Restaurants are closed, businesses are closed. Here in Las Vegas, casinos are closed. So they're on the defense. Well, I could assure you, some of these businesses, some of these casinos had money to defend themselves during this crisis. Do you have money? Do you have wealth? Did you have enough put away? Did you have enough to live the way you're living, the way you want to live? I don't know. Only you know that. The point I'm trying to bring out here is you need to get rich. Now, I may be talking about money, but remember, this is a holistic show. And richness to me is not just money. It's the spirit. It's the physical. But it's the mental. And at this point, on the Science of Success, my author friend is talking about money. And the first point he brings out in this particular chapter is one must get rich. He lived through a depression. Believe me, he realized because of his richness, that depression didn't affect him like maybe others that jumped from their windows or when the stock market fell. Well, the same thing is occurring today. And this situation of this virus, which to me it's a big joke, but that's another subject. There's certain people, certain companies are making billions of dollars because of this idea of this flu. Remember, it's just another flu, but that's beside the point. The point is, it's affecting people. People walking around with masks. I call them the Phantom of the Operas. They're walking around unemployed. They're walking around with no work. And some of them didn't have any money. Some of them didn't have any savings. Some of them didn't have any reserves where they could pull out. My webmaster says only 5 minutes. Mercy. Okay. So we better move on. The point is on this. Oh, by the way, I'm making it a point now. If I don't finish it, I want to continue it next week. One must get rich. Number two, that my author points out, the object in life is development. How you develop your mind, how you develop your body, how you develop your soul. Very, very important. If you're not developing yourself, you're going to pay the consequences. If you didn't develop your money, your riches, you're paying the consequences right now. And you're not going to allow this to happen again. I hope not. Because this is just one crisis of many crises to come. I can assure you that right now. I'm not a prophet. But if I study history and I study the present, other storms are coming. Other crises are coming. And it's all, if you're not well financially prepared, it's going to affect you in the wrong way. Number 3, the desire for riches. Some people have the attitude, well, I don't want to love money. I don't want to be rich. I don't want, oh, really? I wonder if you're saying that right now, in the situation we're living in right now. Now, I said earlier, poverty is the cause of all evil. You don't believe that? Study Venezuela. You don't believe that? Study what happened in Cuba. You don't believe that? Study what happens to the poor people in Mexico. You don't believe that? Study what's happening in the streets of the United States, in the ghettos, in the slums. Poverty causes evil. If people don't have money, it moves them into do some stupid and crazy things. And so, on this particular lesson and subject, the science of success, we're going to be talking about money, the desire for riches. Neglect it, it's your fault. Neglect getting rich, it's your fault. Well, some say, well, I'm not in the right environment. An environment has nothing to do with it. Well, I don't have the right connections. Connections have nothing to do with it. Oh, I don't have the right education. Education has nothing to do with it. Oh, I don't have the right equipment. Equipment has nothing to do with it. Oh, I don't have the right talents. Talents have nothing to do with making money. With this, we're going to stop. And we're going to continue next week on this subject, the science of success. I want to see you successful. That's why this show is called Vegas Strong and Fearless. If you're successful in riches, you're not going to have fears. Now, you're going to have other fears, maybe in the spiritual realm, fears in the relational, you're going to have different fears. But I'm talking about the fears of money. You're not going to have fears of money if you're rich. So, next week, we'll continue. I want to teach you how to get rich. One of the things getting rich is having the attitude of giving. My show, the other show, the church show, I teach it is better to give than to receive. I don't understand the principle, but it works. I want you to get your debit card or your credit card. On my show there's a PayPal button. You can give your donations, give your gifts. You can give $1, $10, $100, $1,000. I don't really care. But give. And the principle, it is better to give than receive. In due time, months from now, you're going to say, you know, Bishop was right, Bishop Rudy. I want you to give on this program as you join us. We need you. And the reason I need this money is I'm going to start 2 new shows. One show is going to be called The Movement of the Woman. The movement of the woman that's moving up. Women nowadays, I think, are neglected, the quiet majority. And in this show, it's going to be a woman-led, teaching on the holistic concept, a woman teaching on the different needs of the woman and the different avenues that a particular woman can use to make herself better. And then we're going to be another show, a Spanish show in Spanish, completely in Spanish. It's going to be a Spanish church. that will go out to the world. Right now we have 4,000 or 5,000 listeners on both these shows. I want to grow both these shows and my other two shows for you. Not for me, but for you, to make you stronger and stronger and fearless and fearless. God bless you, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Keep in mind the science of success. I'm great. You are great. I am successful. You are successful. Unstoppable. No one's going to stop me. I am one with the Almighty. This substance will keep me strong, and there's no limit. God bless you. Let me hear from you. Thank you.